I wanted to talk about Resident Evil real quick. I feel like I said this at the end of last week's episode, but I finally watched Welcome to Raccoon City, and I don't know what the take was, but I'm sure it's very similar to what I'm about to say. And that I'm very happy that they rebooted the series. But what the fuck was that trash ass movie? It just makes me so mad that such a great game is just getting such shitty movies made, and it's just so sad. Like,
Bruh.
I see, like, of course, The Witcher is based off of a book series, but the Witcher games came second, and now the Witcher Netflix series. That is just such excellent content created based off of a game, based off of a book, and they've done an excellent job of this creating this story that is on par with the actual story. Now, Castlevania animated series from Netflix kind of took elements of the game and created this whole animated story. Excellent content. Now, Resident Evil, one of the biggest games, and they still can't get the film correct. Granted, I still haven't seen all of the Resident Evil films. The last one I seen, I believe, is the one where Ashanti was in it. Um, but again, the reason I stopped watching those movies is because they didn't keep my interest. And the reason, uh, am I biased? Because the way Ashanti died in that movie, she could have, made it out instead of, closing herself in the bus so the crows could eat her or whatever happened. I don't remember. But she could have gotten out. So she didn't have to die at that part. That's my take. But those movies was I see they were a different take on the series itself, but the more we get into the franchise, the more it seems like they were creating these jump scare moments and these high intense action sequences that took away from the element of what Resident Evil was, which is a survival horror. And I would have thought that with Welcome to Raccoon City, we would have gotten back to that, and we didn't. So I guess we're talking about TV now. So um where was I going with this rant? Because it's really bothering me. I feel like I've said this before, but all right. Spoiler alerts. If you haven't watched Welcome to the if you haven't watched Welcome to Raccoon City, just skip this video. Thank y'all for watching. But if you have watched it, or if you don't care, keep listening because I was texting my friend about this movie, and she said this is one of those scenarios where you have to watch it as if you've never played the games. So again, she compared it to one of her favorite series, the Winx Saga, which Netflix made into a series. She said it's terrible, but me having no clue of what the Winx series was before, me watching it for the first time, I enjoyed it, and I'm excited for it to continue. But she's not a fan of it, so uh, she said, "For me, it's like because I'm so invested in Resident Evil, I'm gonna look at it through these goggles where I'm gonna complain about it because I already know the story and I'm invested in the series. But why create something that's supposed to be on par with the story of the games and then not execute it correctly. And then fans of Resident Evil are gonna be the most people who come to this project as viewers. So why would you not be on brand with the story? Number one. Number two, I get we were trying to, bring all of the characters into the movie, but you just messed up the timeline by having everyone exist in the same space at the same time. While I did enjoy the first third of the movie, maybe half, first third or first half of the movie, they lost me towards the end. It was just like it started out very well, and then they was just like, "All right, we got to end this movie here." But number one, Chris Redfield, being one of the main characters in the Resident Evil universe, was totally underused in this film. Number two, Claire Redfield somehow is the star of this movie, and not that that's a bad choice, but if we're branding the movie or writing the movie around Claire Redfield, um, there are specific elements to Claire's story that don't make sense in this movie. But I did like that they created the backstory. I don't know if this is official backstory because I'm not one of those fans that knows all of the facts and stories outside of the games. But the orphanage story when Chris and Claire were kids was a great introduction to the characters. Then you get some years later, and Claire's coming back to Raccoon City to find Chris or reunite with Chris, having not spoken to him in years. So that was a great introduction to a story that may not exist in the games, but can exist because we don't know exactly why Claire is in Raccoon City. I don't think. Maybe we do. I don't know. I don't know why. I mean, that story in the movie made sense for me. It was like, oh, I don't actually know what was the premise to why Claire is in Raccoon City looking for Chris when she first enters the game. So that was a great setup. Now, Leon, rookie cop, it's his first day. Um you enter his character by showing him being this incompetent, not knowing anything, failure of a cop that he made some mistakes, and because of who his family was, he got to transfer into Raccoon City Police Department, and his first day is the first day of the outbreak. So to have them all at the diner, the members of Stars, which I don't know if they didn't blatantly introduce them as the Stars unit, but all of the police officers were at this diner. um Leon's character, being it's his first day, you would think if he's at the diner and all the other cops are there, you would think they would have some sort of trying to like bring him into the fold, but he's by himself, and it's just like, cool, all right. In the games, he arrives to the police station not knowing what's going on. First day you show up, outbreak's already happening. But in this scenario, the outbreak hasn't happened yet, so we're creating this story where he's introduced to the members of Stars, which I guess it works. But I don't think in the games Jill and Leon ever cross paths. So that right there creates a situation where the stories don't match. And then again, my issues with the movie is that they're trying to combine three different games into one movie. So you get the Stars members taking on the job of going to the Arklay Mountains, which is what happened in Resident Evil, the first game. So I don't know the timeline specifically, but I do not think the timeline of what's happening at the Arklay Mountains coincides with the outbreak that's happening in Raccoon City. So again, you're breaking the games up and I guess taking elements from all three games, but you're ruining the story and the possibilities of a sequel. So again, if you're gonna bring the Stars members to the Arklay Mountains to deal with whatever's happening to Bravo team. Again, why is Bravo team like I don't know how military or these special units work, but I would assume that Alpha team is not just downtime, chilling at the diner, eating, drinking at the bar, while Bravo team is out on a mission. I would assume that both teams are coordinating different elements of the same mission. So why is Bravo team there by themselves and then Alpha team is just chilling and then having to go in to see what's happening to Bravo team? That just messed. I don't know. I don't know where they were going with that, but I guess that was a good way to pull the Stars team away from Raccoon City. So now you have Leon and Claire dealing with what's happening in Raccoon City. But then you miss the key thing is that, okay, if the events are taking place in Raccoon City at the same time that the Stars team is investigating the Arklay Mountains, how? How? Because the story in Resident Evil 3 happens before the story in Resident Evil 2. So before Leon and Claire and tries to escape Raccoon City, Jill has already her story arc happens before Leon comes to town. So it kind of coincides with what's happening. So she cannot be at the Arklay Mountains at the same time that the events in Raccoon City is taking place, because then how how is she
Halfway.
Take a few
she
steps
was there
back.
before the outbreak took place. So other issue with the story is that Chris is said to be on vacation in the game when Leon finds out that Chris is on vacation, and that's what he tells Claire. So uh, a lot of holes to the story already. So again, you bring in elements to three different games, and you're missing a lot of key story that could have been made into the movie. I can't. I keep forgetting the captain's name. But the captain in the games, in the remake of the games, he was running the orphanage. We get introduced to Sherry because the chief, his name is right on the tip of my tongue. Chief Irons. Chief Irons captures Sherry because he is somehow involved with the Umbrella Corporation, and he traps her in the orphanage. Now, issue with the movie. Um, Wesker. Just don't let me get started on Wesker. All right, we already know Wesker's involved in what's going on, and he's setting his team up in some capacity. So the Wesker and William Birkin situation in this movie messes up the entire timeline because um, William Birkin is supposedly working on the virus, which is how it spreads through Raccoon City. His wife is also a doctor who is working at the lab at the same time. So for her character to somehow not know what's going on and act like she has no parts to this what's happening, that again messes up the entire storyline. And then for Wesker to attack, maybe this did happen. I don't know. This whole movie like messed me up. Like, did that happen or was that in the story? But Wesker wanted the virus for himself. I don't know. I don't remember. The movie was all over the place. That I'm now confused as to the story, and I've played these games since they dropped. But yeah, Wesker going after William to get the vials of I forgot what it's called, G virus, T virus, whatever letter virus we're on. But whatever William cooked up in the lab, Wesker is working for Umbrella to get them. So again, him in an attempt to get them, kills William Birkin, kills Annette Birkin, and I think William then injects himself with the virus. So that's how we get him mutating into the creature. That part, cool. He mutates into the creature, which is what's supposed to happen. But Wesker's involvement in that story, and then Wesker gets killed. So, spoiler alert. I mean, if you're still watching, you're okay with the spoiler alerts. But whew, this movie pissed me off. I'm sorry. I'm going on and on about this, but so yeah, that leaves Sherry, who is there at this moment, and she's rescued by Chris, which now you create another issue with the story because Sherry is the one who helps Claire through the lab, and Sherry escapes with Claire. So now you have Chris who rescues her, and she's coming along with her and Jill. I mean, Chris and Jill, leave the Arclay Mountain. Oh, that was another thing. Somehow the underground situation under the police station leads to the Arclay Mountains. Um, Another issue because the police station itself was a museum. The museum led to the underground sewage, which led to outside into the city of Raccoon City, which led to the laboratory, which was underground. Now the train that they're escaping on leads to the Arclay Mountains or whatever, and somehow Jill, Chris, Leon, and Claire end up on the train. And just, what? That don't even make sense. That don't even make any sense. Number one, the virus that William injects himself with to turn into the creature. He somehow, I believe, Sherry gets infected in the games. This is a key element of the story that they didn't capitalize on. And it's just like, what was the point in having Sherry in this movie? I don't believe she said anything. So again, she gets infected in the games. which is why Claire brings her to the laboratory to find the cure for the virus. In curing Sherry, she has the antibodies which is needed to cure anyone who is infected in Raccoon City. So for them not to do any of that, what was the point of this movie? At no points did any of the protagonists go to creating the cure. So they just escaped Raccoon City as it's being destroyed. Which again, key storylines messed up and key storylines left out. Jill's story in Resident Evil 3 happens before Resident Evil 2, where there's a bioweapon chasing her. And her story happens before and after Resident Evil 3. So again, the bioweapon is chasing her. Chris is nowhere to be found because Chris is supposedly on vacation in Europe. Oh, I forgot. I believe they said Europe in the files. But Chris is on vacation in the games. Jill is being chased by a bioweapon as the outbreak is overtaking the city. And her story is tracking the Umbrella Corporation who is trying to, kill all of the STARS members. So again, if all the STARS member goes to the Arklay Mountains and only Jill and Chris return or escape the Arklay Mountains out of Raccoon City before it's destroyed, the whole bioweapons chasing the STARS members storyline is null and void in this movie. Jill's storyline is null and void in the story, and Chris's point in this whole movie was pointless. Now, what would have made it better? Okay, if we're intertwining the Arklay Mountains and Raccoon City incidents, Chris, they have to write a better story for Chris because at some point he's off investigating something else, which comes up later in Code Veronica. How do you get from the Arklay Mountains with Jill to Jill being back in Raccoon City, being chased by bioweapons, to Leon starting his first day, to them escaping Raccoon City before it's destroyed? All without telling them creating the cure for this virus that mutated the town. They didn't tell any of that. So I feel like they just picked specific parts of the game and said, here, movie, Wesker lives at the end somehow, but we don't know how. Ada was a key in helping, Leon figure out what was going on in the city. So you introduce Ada in the ending credits as having helped Wesker survive, and because they are on the same, working the same features or trying to get the same goal, she's inclined to help him, which doesn't happen in the game. So again, I don't know. I mean, I guess it does in Resident Evil 6, but in Resident Evil 6, Ada has been cloned. So unless we're skipping ahead to, we don't even care about Ada's assistance with Leon. Here's a clone of Ada who's helping Wesker. Not even Wesker. that's Wesker was before. This whole movie got me so confused and so upset, and I think I'm done. I'm done talking about it. Sorry if it's been like 20 minutes of me ranting about this, but that was a terrible movie. And the train that uh, they needed to get to Arclay Mountains to catch the train or whatever. However, it was set up where they all ended up on the train. Leon, y'all have written him to be the most inexperienced and incompetent police officer. Y'all get to the train and everyone looks to him like, how do we drive this thing? But through the whole movie, y'all treated him like he didn't know anything and he was dumb and like shit. So why would you all look to him to figure out how to drive the train? Two, they're on the train. The creature comes and tears the back part of it, and suddenly Leon has a rocket launcher. I get it. This is a Easter egg for fans of the game, but that rocket launcher came from Ada, who assisted Leon in traversing through Raccoon City and figuring shit out. So somehow there's a random rocket launcher on this train for this very moment where the creature tears open the back of the train, and we needed to kill it in one shot. I say all of that to say it just seemed like they rushed the movie. It started out cool where it could have been made sense if they were gonna change a few things from the game, but they dropped the ball in the second 2/3 of the movie. And I don't know how the movie proceeds with a sequel because all of the storylines don't make sense, and I don't know where it goes from here. And I'm not happy. 25th anniversary, I believe, of Resident Evil, and this is the products that they've came up with for celebrating 25 years. Um, on top of that, Infinite Darkness, the Netflix animated series, wasn't too bad, but is there going to be a season two? It slowly built itself up in 4 episodes, which is just yeah, I couldn't create 8 episodes, 13 episodes. Why only 4? So in 4 episodes, it took to the fourth episode for it to finally be built up into something for it to be ended. And I read somewhere that it was set up like that purposely to be a one-off thing. And it's just like, again, with all of these other game to TV series, game to movie series, um, why create a one off? And then if it was going to be a one off, why wouldn't they just create Infinite Darkness as a CGI animated movie? They've had 3 other CGI movies, which was all great. This could have been no different than those. So they could have just done a CGI movie. But currently, there's no words on whether Infinite Darkness is being renewed for season 2. I would love if somehow they continue that, because at least somewhere there's a great Resident Evil series out there, but I don't know. It doesn't look likely. And again, Netflix does as Netflix always does, and they'll continue to push money into these foreign projects that they can dub in English, and any projects that are Netflix originals, cancel it. But yeah, so Resident Evil 25th anniversary. Uh, so far, Resident Evil Village came out, and there's no DLCs. There's no connecting reverse game that nobody. I don't want. I don't want anyway. But Reverse hasn't been updated or finished or finalized or whatever, and Resident Evil 4 remake. There's no word. So we had this big announcement. Oh, it's the 25th anniversary. We're getting Resident Evil Village. We're getting a Resident Evil 4 remake. We're getting Revelations 4 to 3. Revelations 3. We're getting all this Resident Evil stuff for all of it to be lackluster, except Resident Evil Village. And I'm holding my thoughts on Resident Evil Village because I haven't finished the game. But my initial thoughts was that Resident Evil Village was gonna be too short, and it's not gonna be worth the price of the game. Same thing with Resident Evil 3 remake. Uh, the game was too short. They left out a lot of content, and they tacked on Resident Evil Resistant, which I guess was supposed to supplement being the short game, and you have another game to make that a full complete game. But then they dropped the ball with Resident Evil Resistance, and now they're not supporting Resident Evil Resistance. So I just hope that Resident Evil Village is not a short game, but I'm not finished yet. So I don't want to jump the gun and say, yep, Resident Evil 8 is too short, not worth the price. The added on reverse didn't happen or hasn't been done or completed yet. There's no DLC yet, so I guess they want to blame everything on the pandemic and that's slowing everything down. But I would have been okay with Resident Evil Village being delayed. So TV gaming talk. What else? Into the Spider-Man was great. I do want to go see it again. I watched it Monday after release weekend, and I think I need to go see it again. Um, it's good to see everyone who didn't watch Daredevil or they're rewatching Daredevil because Daredevil was finally introduced into the MCU. Um, People are actually going back to watch the Amazing Spider-Man because multiverse introduced the other Spider-Mans into the MCU. So good for that. What else have I been watching? I feel like I just restarted my Netflix, which I said I wasn't gonna do, but catching up on all the next Netflix series that I left behind. Big Mouth, hilarious. Kiki Palmer, anytime you throw Kiki Palmer in the mix of anything, gold. Um, I watched Free Guy. Hilarious. Should have seen it in the movies. Great movie. I still got to see Money Heist. I heard it's ending, and now that I've heard that, it's just like I'm not in a rush to see it. Um, I tried starting it and it was slow. Renew my Netflix and I haven't, gone back to it. I still have to finish Lucifer season 6. So mad that they've said that season 6 was so successful, they could have renewed it for season 7. And that's my thoughts. Like, don't bring a show from a network to Netflix for Netflix to pick it up and then say, "Oh, this is the final season," and then you know how well everyone's streaming it, and now it's doing so well. Let's add another season. The next season comes. Oh, it's doing so well. Dang, we could have added another season. Now none of the actors want to do it, and now y'all potentially actually ended the show. So it's like, dang, I can't even try to do season 7 if y'all wanted to. Same thing with Manifest. NBC. Manifest. I was watching Manifest when it was on NBC. So excited that, it came to streaming on Netflix. It became the number one stream for like a week or two. And then Netflix said, "Oh, we're going to pick it up for a new season." Now, granted, I'll be, iffy when Netflix decides it's going to, take a show that already existed and try to continue it. So, they did a good job with Lucifer, so hopefully they will do a good job with Manifest and not announce the upcoming season as the finale season, because story goes, they were supposed to be spoiler alert if you haven't watched Manifest, they disappeared for 5 years, and it would take 5 years for them to reach their death date. So assuming that we're following every year being a season, season 5 should be the season that they reach their death date. So season 4 can't be the final season, Netflix. So don't even try it. Don't even try it. So season 4, season 5 should be them reaching their death date. Season 6, them some of the people managing to solve their death date. Oh, they all have to solve it at once. Oh, I gotta watch that. I gotta watch it again. I feel like I have to watch it again. But yeah, season 6 should be them getting past the death date, and then season 6 can be the finale, or season 7. So don't even try it, Netflix. What was we talking about? Lost my train of thought. But yeah. Hopefully Netflix does justice to these shows that they picking up, and they think we forgot, but there are several Netflix originals that's just sitting there and hasn't been announced as canceled, hasn't been announced as renewed, and we're still blaming it on the pandemic. But like 2 years, we're 3 years now, so these 2019 shows that kind of been on hold, what are we doing? But yeah, I renewed my Netflix to watch all the shows that I need to get through, and then probably cancel it. But I haven't watched you yet. I haven't watched Money Heist. Haven't watched Lucifer. I gotta finish All American. Season 4 is actually out, so now it's like I gotta actually catch up to all of that. I'm watching The Witcher. Um, Watching The Witcher, side note, reminds me of watching Game of Thrones. Although I wasn't one of those Game of Thrones watchers who watched every week and waited up until season 8, but The Witcher is so good that I have to like sit with the episode before I watch the next one. So I could have dealt with The Witcher being like an HBO show that aired weekly, same as Game of Thrones. But it's great that we get all episodes. But I'm not binging The Witcher because it's so much story and so much great, like like I have to sit with it, and then it makes me want to play the game. So I haven't sped through The Witcher and finished it yet. I'm on episode 4. Kind of saving it because you watch these shows, all the episodes in one day, and then Netflix takes 2 years to bring you the next season, and then it's like, well, damn, I forgot about the previous season. Now it's like, do I rewatch and then watch? I guess, but then it's like nobody got time for that. So yeah, outside of TV, if you stay this long through my podcast, check out the website, ELSV.net. We got some great merch there. This is one of them that I created. I can also create some other stuff for people. If you want other designs, check out the designs that I have up, including my elusive logo text tee, which is on sale. So if you watch the video this far, use code ELSV20 and get 20% off your orders. Um, yeah, some other great segments that I got in the works, and I'm gonna work on those. Check out my streaming channel if you like watching me play games or watching games or Resident Evil stuff. I started some Pokemon hack game that has been great. I've been complaining about the level of quality Pokemon games, and this hack. All of the stuff that I've been complaining about is in this hack. I just wish that Game Freak was like, oh, this is the game that we should make in the same style, better style, as Legends, Arceus, make it open world, make you be able to do whatever you want instead of just being a baby, leaving your house and getting a baby Pokemon and traveling around. Like, let you be an expert, let you start out with some other choices, let you become whatever type of Pokemon trainer you want to be, instead of just collecting the gym badges and challenging the Elite Four. But it's great to have that in the game. If anyone could do it, you could do it and still be whatever you want to be. But change it up. Y'all been a company for 30 years almost, and stop putting these games out and holding hands and thinking that only babies are playing, because you know people who've played the game before, they would come back to the next game. Like, I've been playing Resident Evil since Resident Evil 2, and every Resident Evil since I've played. So it's like, why do you not expect people who play Pokemon to come back to your sequel game? So why not create games for the growing audience that's playing the game? We're all in our 30s now. Make a game that reflects that. Why can't we be a professor? Why can't we be an ace trainer? Why can't we be elite four trainer? Like, so many opportunities to make, if they decided to make an open world game, and then an online open world game. Now I can be an expert dark type trainer, and now people can, after they get their 8 badges and challenge the Elite Four, now the goal is to challenge dark type specialists or whatever. Like, create something where you expand the universe and take advantage of being on the Nintendo Switch, instead of making games that's still made for the 3DS. So yeah, check out the gaming channel, Patreon. I'm still figuring that out. I say that every episode. I just got to go with it. If y'all want to support me on Patreon, patreon.com/ELSV. If you want to support me any other way, check the link in my Instagram bio, and you can support me in that way. Or you can just buy some merch, and you can support a black business that way. So I will link all my music stuff below, and we'll get into some cool stuff going forward. Happy 2022. Let's make this year, a better year than the previous year and the previous year. And let's not make this 2022. Until next one, I'm Nathan Dante. Peace.